Our service is going to be starting in just a moment. If you'll find your seat, please. All right, you guys are listening. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Wow, that actually worked. Happy day. Are you ready for this brand new day? There's never been this day. You've never been this you that you are in this moment. So take a breath and share that with each one that's here this morning. We are the presence and power that is God. So please join me here in this place where we experience
to our vibrant community where love is our sanctuary as we joyfully allow God to express as us. We extend a special welcome today to our live stream viewers. Wherever you are joining us from, know that we feel your presence and hold you in prayer. My name's Roberta McLaughlin, and I'm very happy today to be assisting Bruce Price as your service coordinator. Welcome back, Bruce. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, lives are transformed. Unity is so much more than a Sunday morning experience. There are many opportunities throughout the week to expand your awareness of God and bring us closer to each other. Unity Spiritual Center continues to affirm that the right minister will be attracted to us and that we will be attracted to that right minister. We have created a ministerial applicants welcome video to provide more information about our wonderful center to ministers considering applying. You can watch it from our website. It's on YouTube, but the way to access it is through the website. Our annual meeting will be Sunday, February 5th, after service. Everyone is invited to attend. There may be some voting for members. And as a preview to that meeting, I'd like to invite up Michelle Coles to the platform to introduce some of our candidates.
Hello, everybody. So again, my name is Michelle Coles, and I was chosen by you, the members of our community here at Unity Spiritual Center, last year, along with Karen Kasmer, who is one of our snowbirds. So she's online. Hi, Karen. We also work with two of the board members, Todd Bartamall for the Endowment Committee and Marilyn Volkerding for the trustees. Yeah, thank you. I have it written down, but and together, the four of us got together and we looked for candidates to replace those that are leaving us this year. And as you all know, Brian Nelson moved away, and his position is up this year. And then Shannon Hoff-Smith also held a position. For the endowment committee, Tom Spence is coming down off of that. So today I'm just introducing you to the two candidates for the Board of Trustees. We have 2 people leaving and 2 people coming on. And then 1 person for the endowment team is stepping down and 1 is stepping up. So I'd like to call up Patty Mayer. She is our first board candidate.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just very honored to be invited to be on the board. I've been involved at Unity here for about 5 years, and I consider this my home. I feel at
Board.
Breathe a little. I apologize for being a little bit late here. I had some power outage at home at the last minute, so I'm happy to be here, though. Good morning, everybody. I have been with Uni Spiritual Center about 17 years now. I quickly got involved in the committee and did a lot of different things, and then joined the board. I was on the board for 6 years during some really transitional times, including the search and the hiring of Reverend Joanne. After that, some things changed in my life, and I continued to serve here as well as doing other things. During that time, I served on different committees, and I became the financial director, which I still am at this point, and along with Kathy Ginter, my wonderful bookkeeper, and the board, we've been able to help keep Uni Spiritual Center in a good financial standing. I am so excited about this time at our church and in the world. There are so many changes in many areas since COVID, and I feel like this is a time for lots of opportunities for us to look at things differently, for the world to look at things differently, and for our board to continue their search for the right minister for us, and along with the search team, and to continue to find better ways, or not better ways, but good ways and new ways to serve our community and to serve our area. And I'm really excited about being part of that now. I feel like it's the right time for me, and hopefully the right time for Uni Spiritual Center. All the gifts I've received since I started serving are amazing. I've grown personally, professionally, spiritually, and it continues to grow here along with all of the learning that I've done here. So I am so grateful, and I hope that it'll be the right time and the right fit for all of us. So thank you so much, and I will hopefully see you at another time on the board.
Thank you. Now I'd like to call up Deb Larson, who is our endowment committee candidate.
Good morning, USC. I'm Deb Larson, and it's been a while since I've been in front of this congregation. Today I stand before you as a candidate for the Endowment Fund. For those of you who do not know me, I have been practicing Unity principles for 30 years, and I have been a member of this congregation for the past 15 years. I currently serve on the search team for our next right minister, and I'm also serving on the Prosperity Visionaries team. I'm happy to report the Visionaries are reunited, we're stronger than ever, and we hold this community in the highest prosperity consciousness. In the recent past, I served 4 years on the board, 2 years as treasurer, or no, 2 years, I'm sorry, as treasurer, and 2 years as president. During that time on the board, we had a vision. We had a vision for the long-term financial security for future generations for Unity Spiritual Center, and the endowment committee was formed. As I stand in front of you today, I feel like I have come full circle. And I bring to this position a strong financial background, a high prosperity consciousness, and visionary tools that not only will be a good steward for the finances, but also to raise the prosperity consciousness of this entire community by bringing more awareness to the endowment fund. So I thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to serve. Oh, and one additional thing, I also bring a deep love for God and a deep love for this community. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It looks like we have some wonderful people in our service, so thanks to all of them. Please be sure to take a look at the website for detailed information on all of our ongoing classes and activities, which are also listed on the back of the bulletin. You can find single events and classes on the bulletin insert. Now, let's all stand and share our celebration song.
One of my favorite ways to do affirmations is by singing. So I hope you know that every time you sing these lyrics, you're doing an affirmation. So we're going to start by affirming, swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Are you ready? Swing wide the doors of time is right. Swing wide the doors and let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of. Do
standing, and let us repeat our church affirmation together. In this new year of possibilities, I allow grace and gratitude to lead me to a deeper awareness of God. Please be seated.
Beautiful song, beautiful people, and a beautiful day. Son, take a walk today. Hi, I'm Jack Smith. How are you? And the daily word, or daily word for today is world peace. 2 words. And the affirmation is, I rest my heart in the presence or in the peace of God. Around the world, so many souls are joining me in my prayer for peace. While the news may give more attention to points of conflict, there is a striving and yearning in the human heart for peace. My prayer supports that desire and strengthens the bonds of love that lead to greater harmony. I begin my affirmation of world peace with soft and an open heart. I'm comforted as I realize that the advances of the world's people may have made over the generations to live together harmoniously. I make an effort to live more peaceful, that bridges the gaps of understanding between myself and those around me. I focus my attention upon our shared desire, a peaceful world of cooperation and goodwill. That is my heartfelt prayer. The scripture for today comes from Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3, and it reads, those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because you trust in me. So let's repeat this affirmation together with heartfeltness. Thank you. God bless you all.
And so now take a deep breath as we center into this time of meditation and prayer. Let go of the shore. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Just close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Float into the mystery.
Please join me in relaxing into this time of reflection and meditation. We head toward the stillness, breathing our way into it, in and out, finding a sense of center, a sense of balance. You probably notice your heart beating. I do. Let it come into harmony with the rhythm of my being. And in this time of stillness, consider these thoughts. We are all on a journey. We're in the midst of an amazing symphony of movement all around us. The universe, the very vastness that we reside within, is growing and moving. Galaxies are moving at light speeds. stars revolving around the centers, planets moving around stars, our sun, all these energies on a cosmic level, and yet infinitesimal me, an intricate part of this web of energy, of movement, of being. Wow. Wow. How amazing it is to be me, to be you, in this time, in this place, in this unfolding moment. What a blessing, and what a gift. And I am free to be, and free to make of it what I will. The intersection of my heart and my mind coming together to pick a path. How shall I be? What shall I be? Let's take these thoughts into the time of silence. In this moment, I am so grateful to be in the presence. To be in the presence of each of you and the light of the divine that you represent. My eyes are still closed, and yet I see you with my heart. And I'm sure you feel me too. We may not have the answers, but we know this for sure. We are one with each other. We are here for each other. And the infinite possibilities of expression lay before us. So it is.
As we move into our prayer time, I share a prayer by Carolyn Mace on grace in all of our chakras. The first chakra, the grace of reverence. I invoke the grace of reverence so that I might be one with all life and that my life might serve the whole. I ask that this grace alert me to all that I do that keeps me separated from my vital life force so that I might make wiser choices. The second chakra, the grace of piety. Piety is the grace of God in constant creativity, continually supplying my life and all life with endless, energetic, physical resources. If I do not see those resources, then it is because I am looking through the lens of fear. I ask that grace of piety surround me and endlessly flow from my second chakra, replenishing all that needs healing. The third chakra, the grace of understanding. I seek the grace of understanding in all matters of my life, so that I may clearly see beyond the obvious and the personal. I ask to see the wisdom path and to understand the deeper truths about my own nature. The fourth chakra, the grace of fortitude. I ask for grace of fortitude to keep me steady in times of chaos and uncertainty. It is easy to be seduced into fear, and once fear gets a hold of my thinking, it's difficult to break free from its influence. Let fear never take command of my thoughts, my heart, my mind, my actions. The fifth chakra, the grace of counsel. I ask to be shown the truth within myself, that I may never harm others with my illusions. I ask for the stamina of spirit to contain the transforming power of cosmic truths as I come to understand them. The sixth chakra, the grace of knowledge. I ask that grace of knowledge guide my thoughts and illuminate my awareness of all that transpires within the vast resources of my mind. Grant me the inner light to enter into a deeper knowledge of who I am, and help me to listen to that still small voice that is unlike any other, that I might recognize truth when it is being revealed to me. The seventh chakra, the grace of wisdom. I ask that the grace of wisdom guide me on my path. Let me respond with wisdom to the problems and challenges of my life, rather than with fear and hostility. Let me build a soul with the stamina to absorb the grace of wisdom, so that I may serve the whole of humanity with the actions of my life, acknowledging as I now do that all I do, think, say, and feel influences the well-being of all life. Amen and amen. Now let's take a moment to see and or whisper the names of the people we would like to hold in prayer today. Now I invite you to join in reading our community prayer today on grace. In prayer, I open to the activity of grace. One with God, I recognize unlimited potential. I allow unconditional love to move in and through my life and circumstances. It draws me deeper and lifts me higher. Grace surrounds me with infinite love and acceptance. God and good are everywhere present. In faith and with gratitude, I welcome God's grace. Amen. I'm Pam McHugh, and I will be in the sanctuary for prayers after service.
I've come a long way down this road, always learning as I go. But you can't look backwards and get ahead It's time to lead and not be led. Goodbye limitation, hello liberation. Goodbye frustration, hello to living my life by my design. Breaking these chains that bind my mind, learning to color outside the lines. Dare, dare to be, dare to be, dare, dare to be, dare to be. Uniformity is getting old. Time for gutsy, time for bold. Time for me to break the mold, to see how far I can go. Goodbye limitation, hello liberation. Goodbye frustration, hello to living my life by my design. Breaking these chains that bind my mind, learning to color outside the lines. Dare, dare to be, dare to be, dare, dare to be, dare to be, dare, dare to be, dare to be.
One of a kind.
Goodbye limitation, hello liberation. Goodbye frustration, hello to living my life by my design. Breaking these chains that bind my mind, learning to color outside the lines. Dare, dare to be, dare to be, dare, dare to be, dare to be, dare, dare to be, dare to be, dare, dare to be, dare to be.
Good morning. May I know your name? Twin Feathers. And your assistant here? Marilyn. Well, these, I know we were all daring to be. What a great song. Thank you. But you were especially daring. You were dancing like nobody was looking. But I want to give you this little secret. I was looking. And it didn't slow you down one iota. Yeah, I see you've already got the Gold Star Award on your hat, so you're good. Good. Happy New Year. Ah, boy. Wow, where was I? We are people of our times. You know, when we think about the things in the past and we imagine things about the future, it's always important to consider the context of the times. Context matters. And what do I mean by context? I thought, well, is that obvious? Maybe it is, but, you know, things are happening. There's a what that's happening, there's a how it's happening. And if we just focus on that without considering everything that's happening around it, like when is it happening? Where is it happening? What happened before it happened? What will happen after it happens? So context matters. We need to understand the context of things to really find the deeper meaning. So, for example, my great aunt. Now, she was great, but she's also my great aunt because she was the sister of my grandfather, Selby Price, who, You know, I hope everybody has a grandfather or another person in their life that has the type of influence on my life that he had on mine. He was a very important person to me. The memory of him and the influence of him still is. But his sister, Sybil, gets the attention today. So she is my great aunt. Her name is Sybil Price Rhodes. And she wrote this book, The Life and Times of a 20th Century Woman. She was born in 1903. She passed in 2011. She had a little bit of a journey. Lived through a lot of different contexts, I'd say. It's amazing to hear what she captured here, and I'm going to be sharing part of it. But, you know, in this book, she recounts the adventure of her life. She shares her memories and reflections, only of the first 90 years, though. Because she wrote this in 1996 or 5, so maybe the first 92 or 3 years. But in terms of context, it has a special meaning for me. Why? Because I know this person. I mean, I met her. I spent time with her. We ate dinner together. I rode in a car with her. And I only knew her when she was older, so it was quite fascinating for me to learn about things that happened when she was younger. But I know her, and that's a special context. And over the next 4 months, I intend to provide the opportunity for all of you to get to know her a little better too. Because I'm going to do 4 messages, talks, whatever you call this, centered on ideas I've taken from her sharing and her wisdom. The adventure of her life meant to inspire the adventure of your life. So come on, let's go for a ride. I know there's a rock song that starts that way. Let's go for a ride. The adventure of your life, part 1, heading for the Rockies. So in 1929, a lot of things happened in 1929. I think it was 2 years after Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs and had that great year. There's something happened in October where the financial markets went nuts. Herbert Hoover was president. Archie Bunker sang about him, right? We could use a guy like Herbert Hoover again. But Sybil and Dusty were living in Pittsburgh at the time. They were mostly from Ohio. Sybil was born in West Virginia. Get this. She was born in Pricetown. There's a town named after my family. Holy moly. It was so big that the welcome to and leaving was on the same sign, different size. But still, it was Pricetown. So they decided to go to California. Their motto was California or bust. They were daring to be. Pittsburgh, context matters. So I've been to Pittsburgh, and I've been there recently, and it's a nice city. I mean, has anybody been there recently? Did you like it? I know the Steelers are there, but just set that aside for now. Except for the Steeler fans, they're here. I know there's always a couple. Context matters. Okay. It's a pretty nice city. They've really done a nice job. I was there in 1980 to do something, and it was still pretty dingy in 1980. I mean, there were still steel mills all over the place where now it's been redeveloped into nice things. But it was still pretty dingy, and most of the steel mills were shutting down. It was just a declining energy. But in 1929, it was the height of the industrial era. I can't imagine how polluted it was. I mean, in 1972, I drove to my first Cleveland Indian. I rode in a car to my first Cleveland Indian. I wasn't driving at age 10. And I remember how orange the sky was over the flats. Very different now. Pittsburgh was not the best place. So they said, California is the place we got to be. So they loaded up the Model T, And they said, we're going to go as far as this little car will take us. And here's a picture of that car. And also, get this, her husband, her newlywed husband, Lloyd Rhodes. But nobody called him Lloyd. Dusty Rhodes. So she goes off on the adventure of her life with Dusty Rhodes. And I want you all to get to know them, so I'm going to pass this around so you can look at this picture a little more closely. I'm fascinated with Sybil and Dusty, and I'll leave it at that. So they headed for the Rockies. They wanted to go to California, but you know what? In between Pittsburgh and California, there's a few things, the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains being two of the biggest, most significant. Context matters. Cross-country travel in 1929 was a little bit different than cross-country travel today. First of all, you can see the car. Top speed, 25 miles per hour. It was going to take a while. It wasn't a weekend jaunt. You know, it's interesting. I met a guy the other day. He goes, you know, we were on our way to, what's the place? Asheville, North Carolina. And about halfway through Ohio, my wife says, I don't want to go there. I want to go to Arizona. And he said, so I turned west and drove to Arizona. And I'm thinking, context matters. I'm thinking, I don't know about that, but you know what? People dare to be, right? So that's his adventure and his life and his wife. But as far as travel in 1929, there's no hotels, no motels, there's no we'll leave a light on for you, no Holiday Inn, none of that stuff. There were these things they called cabins, and they were cabins. I mean, like the kind you find in the primitive areas of the parks, you know, no water, maybe a hanging light on a string, maybe. And that was as good as it got. Most of the time you slept in your car. And food, you know, occasionally you'd come across the opportunity for food. But they got, you'll see in that picture, whoever's looking at it, that it looks like they're just on like the Bonneville Salt Flats. It says when they got to Loveland, Nevada, there was no more road. They were literally just driving across this big flat plain and hoping they were going the right direction. Now, when we travel now, we got these nice superhighways with green exit signs and traffic. She said no traffic. And she said eventually they got to a spot where they saw another sign. So I just want to emphasize that journey was, it took a lot of faith to take a journey like that. And it's January, right? So what are we talking about in January? Usually in Unity, we're talking about the power of faith. And what does faith really mean? Well, you got to believe. Believe in yourself. And again, I'll keep emphasizing in my messages that what we're looking for in Unity is practical Christianity. You know, how can I take the messages of the sacred texts and the lives and times of those that came before us, including, of course, our way shower, Jesus of Nazareth. How can I take that and put it into practical use so that I can live a better life now, today, in this context, and be my best expression of the Christ ideal of man? Man meaning man and women, and anything else that is part of the mosaic of expression. They also, and context matters, they also got to Donner Pass. Anybody know about Donner Pass? You know, 83 years before they went through Donner Pass, a different group of people in the context of their time was trying to get to California or bust. And they had some tragedies. And Sybil and Dusty stopped at the remnants of one of the cabins, and there's a rock wall there with names of all the people. So it takes faith to go on the adventure of your life. I think what starts you on the adventure is your desire. You decide you want something and you decide to move toward it. And that sets the course. And then your faith illuminates your path and helps you find your way and respond to whatever shows up. When they left, it was the 13th of June. And their parents collectively said, "Why don't you wait till tomorrow?" And I love Sybil. She's like, "We left anyway because we were ready and not superstitious." Because they had faith. They trusted Providence. They had no job lined up in California. They just were going to get there and figure it out when they got there. And you know what? Their faith delivered, because when they were in Colorado Springs, they met a man who knew a guy who ran a paper. Dusty was in the paper publishing type business. In fact, the book you're seeing is published by Sybil's grandson and the company that was started by her son Cecil. So they met a man, and sure enough, when Dusty and Sybil got to San Francisco area, he got a job with the guy. And so it began, and their adventure continued. Follow your heart's desire, head for the Rockies, and let your faith illuminate your path along the way. So I'm going to give an abbreviated version of this because we started a little bit later today because we had some special things, but I'm sure we have to end in there at the same time. But context matters. I want to just relate this to how we use the Bible and sacred texts, because when you read the stories in the Bible, they don't always make sense. And then he and his barren wife, Sarah, have a child. He's 99. I don't know how old she is. These are Bible years. I'm taking them literally at this point. So anyway, they have Isaac. 12 years later, God says, all right, now that you got this heir and this legacy, I want you to take him up to the top of Mount Moriah and slaughter him as a sacrifice. And Abraham does this, or at least he starts to do this, and then God intervenes. Okay, so that story has meaning in the time and place of it's told. I guess this is, and it certainly has very strong meaning for the Hebrew tradition. But what does it mean to us? I mean, first thing it means to me is, I don't believe in a God that tells me to murder my children. Okay? So there must be something beyond that. It must not be literal. There must be a deeper meaning. Because that's just not the Creator that I have in my heart and in my faith. But I would say one thing it tells me is, if you absolutely really have your faith in something, if you absolutely really believe in it, then you will do whatever it takes and let go of whatever you need to do and sacrifice it, regardless of how dearly you have held it so far. And we could spend weeks talking about that and how that shows up in faith. But, sometimes things just don't serve us anymore. Like, for example, if you're in a plane wreck in the desert and you survive, and you got to hike out, you're probably not taking your luggage with you, right? It's like, I don't really need that cosmetics case or whatnot, or that change of clothes. But there might be some things you do carry with you, like, is there any food? Is there any water? Can I keep the sun off my brow? But, things change in value. So you're willing to let those, if you fall off a boat in a storm and you're in the water, I recommend letting go of whatever's heavy. So we can make this practical if we need to. Freedom. This is with the sacrifice. When I was about 18, I think, I remember when I said this, I thought I was a philosopher. I was. And I said, freedom means being able to let go of whatever you have to get what you want. But when I was 18, you know what I had? Just about nothing. So it was easy. It's easy to practice our faith when we're doing the stuff we're comfortable with. But what about when the challenge comes up? What about now? It's like, all right, well, Jesus said to the guy, how do I get into heaven? He says, well, give away everything you have. Don't want it that bad. We know this story, right? So, yeah, we can just continue to find that meaning in Abraham's message. So the bottom line is we want to seek to appreciate original context while considering timeless meaning that can be practically applied as we handle our own challenges, tribulations, and trials. Seek timeless inspiration that will help you on your journey. So, what are your Rockies? You wondering this already, I bet? What do you see looming on the horizon? What is at the frontier of your experience? I'm feeling a little reflective. I'm channeling Joni Mitchell. Maybe it's the time of year. It's January. We usually take this time of year to kind of think about the arc of our life. And so maybe it's the time of year, and maybe it's the time of man. Thank you, Joni. Because, now listen, I know some of you are going to cringe when I say this, but for this man, like I just turned 60. Some of you are saying that was a nice year. Some of you are like, hey, maybe someday. But so I just take it, everything's in context, right? But for me, it's clear, probably most of my life time, not necessarily experience, but lifetime is behind me versus before me. So what will I do with what's left? And, there's a little bit. Can I take 5 more minutes? Okay. So I'll try to do it in 5 more minutes. So I just think that I've talked about this idea of epic. That there is a bit of social pressure to go for the Rockies. I mean, even when I say go for the Rockies, I'm putting a little pressure on you. I mean, aren't they big and awe-inspiring and massive? And of course they are. But really, the internet doesn't help this. Anybody see this challenge, that? All these crazy things people are willing to put on video and put on the internet, and everybody feels like I need to do it too. I'm going to eat Tide Pods. What? Crazy stuff, but we sort of feel this. But I want to tell you, the internet's not to blame. We've been doing this before. We just didn't have the videos. We sort of always had this, like I know in my fraternity in college, right, we were always trying to overcome and outdo the legends of the past. Well, the class of 75, they did this and they did that, and et cetera. And maybe you guys have had these same experiences where there's always this, like, you have to overcome what, and you know what? Some of that stuff that happened, the legends of the past, some of it's real, it really did happen. There were some legendary things. A lot of it has been exaggerated a bit. And so we're often competing with a myth. Why are we doing this? What about just being the legend of me? Would that be enough? The legend of you. Like, you are legendary. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. And you don't need the pressure of age. Like, just because I'm 60, which I am grateful and blessed for 60, it's been fun so far. The adventure of my life has been fun. And I'm looking forward to even greater adventures. I'm not saying like, oh, wow, well, I haven't done enough. I better hurry up before it's too late and do something really important. Like, isn't that a pretty strong indictment on the first 60 years? Like, in every moment, in the context of the time, in every moment, you're doing your best. And you're doing what feels right for you in that moment. And like, just be in harmony and acceptance, because the best way to dare to be is to be really okay with what you've done so far. Like, you are what you are, and you've done what you've done. What are you going to do now? Are you going to head for the Rockies? And what do your Rockies look like? And the Rockies may not be awe-inspiring and massive for you. They might be very subtle. You know what Rockies might look like? Is healing or repairing a broken relationship. That's a pretty big mountain right there. That's peace in the world, wherever that is. Maybe it's about just finally accepting healthier habits. You know, whether that's one day at a time or the endless yo-yo cycle I go through. Will I ever get there? I don't know, but that's it doesn't have to be an epic journey. It can be whatever's at the frontier of your experience where you're hesitating, okay? So one thing you don't want to do is 10 years from now, look back and say, I have to read this because I get confused when I was thinking of it. But imagine 10 years from now, you keep telling yourself, I wanted to do something and I didn't do it. So what's true? Did I really want to do it and somehow I just didn't do it? That's one path, but another to explore. But another path is, for some reason, I was telling the world that I wanted to do something, but I'm really not sure that I did want to do it because I didn't do it. And if I wanted to do it, I would have done it. And like, why would I spend all that energy creating this image that's so out of alignment with who I really am? And so, one thing about the Rockies, heading for the Rockies for yourself, how about the freedom to just truly be who you are and not have to prove anything to anybody, and just know that you are an amazing and blessed being in this moment. And you know what? You're just going to be one in the next moment too. Whatever you do. And in fact, you don't have to do anything. Your Rockies might be right where you are. So this brings up the spiritual practice, which is that I'm just asking you to get curious. If you truly believe you want to do something and you've been hesitating, you might want to get curious about that. Why am I hesitating? Am I afraid? Why? You know, so, however, don't spend too much time trying to figure out why. Just say, do it or not. Like Yoda, use the Yoda treatment, right? There is no try. There's do and not do, right? So, but if you're talking about it and you're not doing it, there's something to explore there. So here you go. Embrace the adventure of your life. Follow the path of your heart's desire. Because if you don't live the life you want, you're susceptible to living the life others want for you. And how much fun is that? Like wrestling with a pig, all right? We all know about that. If you're not sure what you want, consider your fears. You may want to move toward your fears. You may not, but you may want to move toward your fears because your fears may actually be camouflaging your true desire. That may be the real reason they exist, is because that's really what you do want. It's worth exploring. We are people of our times. Sybil and Dusty had their time. We're going to share more of it. They had quite a journey. But now is your time. Your path is at your feet. Walk forward in faith. Engage in the journey and head for the Rockies. And along the way, I believe you will discover something truly amazing. You. The power of you. Having the adventure of your life. Thank you.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind. I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. sun illuminate the words that you cannot find, reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. I break traditions, sometimes my tries are outside the line. Feel the rain on your skin, no one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your arms with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. Feel the rain on your skin, no one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. The rest is still unwritten. The rest is still unwritten.
Thank you, Eric. That was fabulous. Thank you, Bruce, for a wonderful message. And while I'm thanking people, I did neglect to thank the people who were involved in making our wonderful new minister video. Thank you to Marilyn and Toyin and everybody who participated in that video. Collectively, we have been uplifted and inspired by our shared experience this morning. Indeed, we have. From this raised awareness of the truth of who we are, breathe in the feeling of gratitude and joy. In that consciousness, we turn now to the spiritual practice of generosity as we share our financial gifts. Through generous giving, you have the ability to give thanks for the transformation occurring in your life through these unity teachings. As each of us joins together, giving from the heart, we have the power to strengthen the spiritual community in thriving today and encouraging transformed lives well into the future. What a difference you make in the lives of our spiritual family and our world. If you're sharing your gift in service, please hold it in your hands. If you give with a credit card, including through the square located at the back of Unity Hall, please hold your gift in your heart. Please bless your offering as we affirm together. In gratitude, I see abundant blessings and possibilities.
So I'm going to start us off. If you know the words, sing along, but you can come in on the chorus. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here. Do that one more time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life.
We dedicate these gifts and prayers, serving and loving at the highest level in this spiritual community. We know we are divinely guided. We know that our prosperity is assured. We affirm that rich, divine ideas are now ours. We know what to do, and we do it. Because we give greatly, we receive abundantly, and we are grateful. Amen. In our service today, we have raised our consciousness through prayer, message, music, meditation, and gratitude. From this place of high consciousness, let us now join our search team in affirming together. Joyously, I am affirming that the right minister is drawn to our congregation, and our congregation is drawn to this right minister in perfect divine order, and I am grateful. Unity Spiritual Center gives a portion of our offering to several other organizations, including a special organization we select each month. This month, we are giving 2% of our offering to Youth Challenge Westlake. Youth Challenge offers year-round adapted sports and recreational programming throughout the greater Cleveland area to young people with physical disabilities. Thank you for joining us this morning. A special thanks to any new guests, including our new guests visiting us via the live stream. We're so happy that Spirit guided you to be here with us today. Please join us in the community room for fellowship. Our healing circle will take place as soon as possible after service, and we have a great community luncheon this Tuesday enjoying 50s pop music and trivia with host Joel Keller. Our guest speaker and soloist next week will be Daniel Nahmad. Please stand as we sing our closing songs. See you next week.